Hey, Wolf Industries, Derek Hugel again. Look forward to giving you a project update on Battleground property that we have for Wolf Cottages. Fired up to be putting together this project. It was a start of an email that came across my desk, and my goodness, let me tell you what. I looked at it and I said, what? Come again? 6.5 acres inside the city limits of Battleground? This has got to be an opportunity we dig into. And like any project, there's always some caveats and so forth, and this one was no different. So sewer availability, feasibilities, all kinds of things we had to dig into. Let's cover them all in this video and give you some status update on what we got going on. Kicking off from that email, I promptly replied to the realtor saying, hey, find out more information on this. I want to find out what is the bottom line and details on this parcel. And he got back, he said, hey, there are a lot of people interested in this one, and we're gonna have to get in and with a solid offer if we're gonna be able to get this. There's a lot of developers out there interested in looking at it, and we don't know what approach they're gonna have, but I recommend coming in with a cash offer, close as quick as you can, and put any of the little niggly details, just put them at ease for the seller. And so we did. We said, we'll close within 15 days, give us a short feasibility window, and we will deal with the squatters that are living in the house. And you heard me right, there was people doing drugs and in that house making an absolute mess of it. And it would cost the seller lots of time and money to go through the legal process of getting them out. So we said, hey, we'll take it as is, where is. We'll close within 15 days. Here's a solid price, X amount of dollars above asking. And they took us. There was like, I think 3 or 4 other quotes, bids that were put in to buy the property. And we were the chosen ones. So right out of the gate, we knew there was some issues that we were gonna have to flesh out with our feasibility period starting like now and ending in 3 to 5 days from now. Otherwise you lose your large earnest money. So we have a crew in-house that has a total station, and with the sewer availability, there was a segment of the sewer line that was unmapped with the city of Battleground. And when it's unmapped, they didn't know the slope of it, and they had to put into their model a flat as they could assume, which yielded a very low volume of sewer. So we had to go through their backyards, dodging through different neighbors and knocking on doors and saying, we're doing a survey of your back sewer easement and measuring. This is across town, this is nowhere near the site, just to make sure that the sewer coming off of our site would be able to make it all the way back to the sewer facility. So we did do the sewer measuring, and we have an in-house civil engineer that went out on site with the guy running the total station. This happened to be my brother. And they're crawling through spider webs and pulling off sewer lids and crawling down there with the tape measure and measuring the elevation difference between the 2 manholes. And the flattest sewer profile is 0045 for sewer, and we found this one to be at a 0051 slope. So it was a little bit steeper. We turned data around that same day and put together a memo for Mark Hersig over at the City Battleground, and he punched it into his model, and he determined that yes, with that increased slope, it increased capacity enough to put in X amount number more units on that property. So with that hurdle cleared, we then had to solve for the worst case with the stream and shoreline buffer with the City of Battleground. They had that stream along the side there and wetlands, and is there wetlands, is it a stream? And so we met with our biologist with Ecological Land Services and brought them out, and we walked the site, and he said, well, it looks like we're gonna call this a stream, and with the City of Battleground, inside city limits, we have a 50-foot setback, so buffer. So if you can go through that stream bed and clear it out by hand, make sure that we can get through there, and we'll mark out and record that stream bed location. We're gonna give you a 50-foot buffer setback from there. And short term, we wanted to run some horses, and so we didn't want to be inside the buffer, harming any of that natural vegetation. So Ecological Land Services got us that setback, and we were able to put in the fences that you see out there now today. Like any of our other projects, people often ask, when are you going to build and when are you going to break ground and when things take off? And the short answer is, like all my other projects, I simply say I don't know, because entitlements and going through all the processes and so forth, it takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of roadblocks and hiccups and things we have to work through. And the civil engineers will take that one step at a time. And when we determine and figure out how much buildable acreage we have, it's a pretty good size site, but with that stream buffer setbacks, we're going to be shrunk down to, between the 3 and 4 acre size, down from 6 acres. So we might do a combination of cottages on site. We might do cottages and single family homes, just furthering the little development. Or we might do all cottages, or we might do all single family homes. It's all going to come down to usable space and what the highest and best use of that property is. Meanwhile, we fixed up the house, and we've got one of our employees from Wolf renting the house, and we got it fixed up, livable for him to live in. So inside this cottage development, we're looking at more of a larger scale single family home development with maybe some garages attached and so forth, but still that cottagey community feel with some shared parking. And it'll all come down to how it lays out and what's the best use of the land. We're going to go ahead and take our time doing things right, and so with that, we often don't and can't put a timeline to the overall project. It's just going to kind of take its own natural organic course and work its way out. And throughout that process, we'll be sure to keep you updated with all the nuances of what's happening. Thanks for watching, and look forward to catching you on the next video. Make sure and subscribe and comment below.